I do think that, there's some changes that we made that have been pretty good, but I just think that this is such a unpredictable sport in regards to when guys get injured or whatnot. So we're in a good spot right now.
Matt, what has Luke done at practice that's made you feel like he's trending well towards getting back on the field?
Just watching him take a lot of the scout team reps. He's running fast, and we didn't have pads on this week, but I do think that just everything that I've seen from him, he looks pretty good.
Matt, I know there's not a ton of film out there on Rattler, but what does it kind of say about a quarterback who can come off the bench at halftime, his team's down by a bunch of points, and bring them pretty much all the way back like he did last week?
Especially a rookie quarterback. I think that tells you a lot about the guy. He's a talented guy. I mean, he was highly recruited coming out of high school and has been able to produce at the college level. So I think, like I said, he's a natural thrower. I was impressed with him through the draft process last year. And so he's got a lot of talent. He's got some weapons around him.
Matt, go ahead.
Where do you think you've seen the most growth in your defense and when Jeff got here, it sounded like things were going to be simpler and it was going to be more aggressive, and I thought maybe it would be a quick transition, but I think you probably underestimated the challenges that come with switching defenses.
Yeah, I just think that their ability to continue to learn the scheme and really, I don't care what defense, offense, whatever system you're running, it's all about the detail of what you're doing, and knowing all the nuances, knowing the things that how people want to attack you. I think that's a big part of it, and these guys get accustomed to seeing maybe the same type of concepts, and they're able to play them better.
Their pass defense ranks pretty high as far as pass rating and touchdowns completion percentage goes. What's the challenge in that regard? Defense.
Yeah, I think they compete, they challenge it, and they give you different looks. But I think ultimately, yeah, especially in the later downs, third down, they're going to play tight coverage, and you got to beat man.
Have they changed a lot under Rizzi on defense at all?
No, I still think the same. It's still the same system. It's just a different play caller. And Joe Woods has been doing this a long time. He's a guy that I got a ton of respect for. He coached with Sala in San Francisco, and so he's been doing it at a high level for a really long time.
Hey Matt, you said something after the game on Sunday about the challenge of keeping everybody involved offensively, and I know you always say that's a good problem to have, but how do you manage that? Because you do want them all to be involved, and it does seem like it would be a challenging balancing act.
Well, it's just, ultimately, my singular focus is on how do you win the game, and within that, you try to be mindful and try to do what you can to get as many people involved into the game as possible, but sometimes you can't dictate where the ball's going to go all the time, in the pass game at least. It's easier, obviously, in the run game, you just hand the ball off to somebody, but in the pass game, coverage dictates a lot of times where the ball ends up going, and it's just whether or not you're hitting your plays where you think what you think is going to be the coverage and anticipating that, and it's whether or not you hit it.
Do you stress a little bit about that, or would that be unfair to say?
I would say that's unfair to say. You just, as we're putting the plan together, you just want to make sure there's enough for each guy in there, and then wherever it goes on Sunday, it goes.
But you believe that the goal of winning the game, you have a better chance of winning the game if you do get more guys involved too, right? You do believe in that part of the philosophy, don't you?
Yeah, I believe that you have a better chance of having success if the quarterback reads the play true to how you should read it and within the timing of the play, and he gets it to where it needs to go. So without force feeding it, and sometimes, that happens where you're trying to force feed somebody, and you know, we don't necessarily have to do that, I don't think.
You,
Every
with,
week we ask Josh how he's feeling, and every week he's like, I feel great, with a smile. Does it surprise you at all that he does feel so good at this point in the season?
No, because he's as tough as they come. And I think a lot of it's probably just his past experiences and what he's had to battle through and how resilient of a person he is. And I don't know, there's not many tougher than he is.
with Jair last week, you mentioned the plate, this practice speeds weren't where you wanted to get to. How do you measure it when it's like this outside where you practiced in the snow yesterday? It looked like guys were a little careful with their.
Yeah, it was definitely slower yesterday. That's why I thought today, once we see the numbers, it'll be a better indication of where we're at.
Were you able to practice full speed, or is it still a little treacherous out there?
No, it was great. It was really good today. Yeah.
You think about being inside? Like, do you get enough done in the passing game on a day like today?
Oh, today was beautiful. It was. We had a great practice out there today. The energy, the vibe. We got to see the sun. I mean, who would have thunk it, you know? I mean, it was beautiful. It really was. It was a clean practice today. I know it was cold, but those guys managed that, and it was a little windy, depending upon which way we were going. But it was a really crisp, clean practice. I was really impressed.
Two more, please.
Matt, does that tell you your guys are locked in pretty well in a week where, you know, it's not the same? I'm not trying to degrade the Saints, but it's not the same as facing the Lions.
This is the
Vikings.
National Football League. You better get yourself ready to go, otherwise you're going to get your ass kicked. I don't care who you're playing. So, and I got a lot of respect for these guys, and if you looked at what they've been able to accomplish in a short period of time, I mean, look at the game last week and their ability to come back, and I mean, they had a chance to win the game on the last play of the game. So, you just, to me, every week's the same.
You believe that, but sometimes players don't buy it. You feel good about your players being.
You don't think they believe that?
In the time I've covered the team, there have been times where there have been matchups with bad teams that they did not take it seriously, yes.
I would not put this in that category.
With Luke, what kind of reasonable expectation is there for what he might be able to do whenever he does come back, considering he is a young player that's missed a ton of time?
Well, we wouldn't put him in there if we didn't feel like he was confident or able to go out there and accomplish what we want him to do. So I think, you know, he's had enough experience, and I feel pretty comfortable with what we would ask him to do to go out there and play.
That's what I'm asking. Do you feel like, I mean, is that a significant add to this offense? Is he at a place where he can be a significant contributor even this season?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's got something that you can't really coach in terms of just the speed that he brings out on the field. So I do think that, you know, it's not like we would go out there and play him 70 snaps, but if we could ease him back into it, I think that'd be really good for him and for us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Matt. By the way, Mike asked me about